So, financial planning or financial management, as you may say, it has two aspects. One is, becoming aware of our finances, the current situation that is, and then planning our future based on that. But people don't want to look at their numbers because they tend to get afraid of the reality, I would say.
Can you imagine having a mentor in your life who repeatedly reminds you to mind your profit? Won't that be wonderful? Hello and welcome to Rabbi Rashi Foundation. Prashant Narang is a chartered accountant, co founder of Agility Venture Partners, is a financial literacy enthusiast, author of Four Bucket Cash Flow book, a mentor to startups seeking funds. आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है प्रशांत. Please share your professional journey story with the world in short.
So, I started my career, as a chartered accountant in 2001 when I qualified as a CA. I joined PricewaterhouseCoopers Audit Division, and after being in job for 3.5 years, I switched my career to my own practice. So I onboarded a lot of clients, large multinationals, SMEs, into the client list of the firm. And because I was dealing with SMEs a lot, I realized, that they are struggling with one problem, that is poor financial management. Most of the SMEs, I realized, are struggling with the shortage of funds at most of the times. So I looked into it. What was the reason? So, and then I, you know, designed a workshop called Mind Your Profit for the SMEs. And at the same time, I wrote my book, which is Four Bucket Cash Flow, which you just mentioned. So this is the book is covering the most important aspect of the workshop, Mind Your Profit, that is cash flow management. My workshop has been attended by hundreds of SME business owners. Earlier in the physical world, it was Delhi NCR, and now it is pan India through the online mode. And my book, it has sold thousands of copies through Amazon and Flipkart. So I've tried to touch as many lives as I can through my workshops and book. In the year 2020, we I started a new venture, which is an angel investors network. It's called Agility. So we have 600 angel investors in our angel investors list, and uh, they are not only in India but also in other countries like Dubai, Canada, UK, Singapore, and Australia. So our investors are from across the globe, but we are primarily investing in Indian startups only.
This
So
is totally wonderful, true from heart, and very simple. Okay, Prashant, since we work with a lot of small businesses, what exactly is financial planning in a very, very layman language for any business or even for personal well being?
So financial planning or financial management, as you may say, it has two aspects. One is, becoming aware of our finances, the current situation that is, and then planning our future based on that. So I place a lot of multicolored blocks in front of you, and I ask them, if you can instantly tell me how many blocks are of each color. So you won't be able to tell with certainty till the time you actually stack them color wise and then count them. So similar is our finances. If we really want to understand our finances, we need to categorize, the inflows and outflows of money into various categories based on the nature of transactions. And once we know that, okay, this is the category in which I have received this much money, and this is the category in which I have paid this much amount, then I would know where my money came from and where my money went. So suppose if you do that analysis and you get to know in a particular year that you have received say 15 lakhs, out of which 10 lakhs is income and 5 lakhs is a loan, and that you have spent these 15 lakhs, say in 12 lakhs you have spent in your personal expenses and 3 lakhs you have saved. So if you analyze it, you will realize that you have spent more than your income. So if you realize that, then based on the current situation, you can plan for your next year. Suppose if you know that your next year income is going to be 12 lakhs, then you can accordingly allocate that 12 lakh rupees to repayment of the loan, your savings, and then your expenses. So analysis of your current situation will help in future
Tell
planning.
us more about your book, four bucket cash flow. Really excited to know about it. Over to you.
Four bucket cash flow, the book, it is focused on the SME business owners. So as I said, the categorization of the inflow and outflow of money into various categories. So from a business perspective, it categorizes the inflows and outflows in four buckets, that is income, loans, investments, and then the withdrawals or expenses of the business owner. So if the inflow and outflow of money is categorized in these four buckets, the business owners get to know whether the business generated adequate cash during the year or not. So I have seen that business owners generally they concentrate more on the sales. I mean, I asked a room of 100 people, how many of you know your last year sales? 100 hands went up. I asked how many of you know about how much profit you made last year. I think 25 hands went up. And then when I asked how many of you know how much cash your business generated, not even one hand went up because people don't look at that aspect. But I would say, I mean, just imagine a situation where a person is, a salaried person getting, a salary slip every month, but they are not getting the money in their bank, or they don't know whether they are getting that money in the bank or not. How will they survive? But business owners operate with this ignorance, you can say, that they don't exactly know how much money has actually been collected from the profits that they have made. So first is visibility of the profit, and then the cash generated from their business. So that is what the book talks about.
And we are sure that many people would be reaching out to you for the book. Prashant, COVID, pandemic, adverse situations in life, loss of family members, earning members. Now, how I think this is a lesson that we all need to learn now, that what in your view is the new normal for financial management for businesses primarily? Because there's a lot of hustle in the market, a lot of disturbance in the business.
Last year when the lockdown happened, there was a lot of panic around this aspect, that how people will manage their businesses finances. This year people have really not been focused on the finances right now because of the medical emergencies, but soon this reality is also going to hit, that how the finances of the business are going to be managed. So last year, I designed a workshop which was again on cash flows. I am a cash flow person, so I really value cash flow statement as a tool to manage the business. So I made a workshop called Corona Cash Flows. So it was named like that because it was totally focused on talking about what exactly is to be done during these tough times. Obviously, when people really don't know what is the future, then going unprepared will be more harmful than going with some preparation. So I suggest that if people can prepare a projected kind of a financial cash flow statement where they can predict, okay, this much money I'm going to receive in the next 3 months, and accordingly these are my liabilities which I can pay off from those collections. So if you know that you are going to receive an X amount during a month, you will obviously not commit money outflow more than that receipt. Otherwise, if you have committed more outflow than what you're going to receive, people are going to be unsatisfied with your business, and that creates a lot of negativity in already a negative environment. So if you tell people, okay, I will pay you in the second month or the third month with certainty, then obviously it helps you manage that. You need to be on top of this these numbers in terms of movement of your money, so that you know exactly where your money is supposed to go or where it is supposed to come from. And that, I think, empowers people, because that pulls you out of that fear of unknown, and helps you take more informed decisions.
Definitely, and very simply put, Prashant, you as a financial analyst can guide businesses on financial resilience.
The business owners should build their companies as financially smart organizations. I always say that because uh, people make good products, people make good services, they provide good services, but the organizations themselves are not financially smart. So an eye on the profits and then the cash flows, as I mentioned earlier, is critical. But areas where your money gets lost or the money gets stuck in the business are expenses. If sometimes the expenses go much above what we thought, and it leads to lesser profits. Then our money gets stuck in stocks. As the business goes up, people tend to build up inventories without even realizing how much money is getting stuck in the inventories. And as we sell more, there are the receivables also pile up. So all these are the places where one needs to keep an eye at all the times to keep them under control. In addition to that, there are 2 points which should be kept in mind. So first one is that people should actually monitor what return on the capital employed their business is generating, because that is something that people tend to ignore, that the cost of the funds sometimes is higher than the return on that money that is being generated by the business. So eventually you are losing money and you don't even realize it. So that is something which should be looked into. The second aspect is that people should not use short term funds for buying long term assets. So suppose if someone has uh, money in the bank which is supposed to be paid to suppliers, but they use that money to buy machinery. Now the machinery will take time to get installed, start production, and then those goods will be sold, then that money will be realized. It is a long cycle to convert that money back into cash. And when, I mean, it takes so much of time, till that time your suppliers will get really restless, and they will put pressure on you, and that kind of mental pressure people generally cannot, that is counterproductive. I mean, it will really bring down the efficiencies of the business. So so as I said, stock, expenses, debtors, look at the cost on the return on capital employed, and don't use short term funds for long term assets. I mean, if you take care of these things, uh, your business will not get into trouble. I mean, a major trouble. I would.
Prashant, you work with a lot of startups. Now, coming to startups, since many people have lost their jobs and they would be starting their own and they have started their own, from managing loans to getting funded, how can you guide and mentor
Not
them?
only losing jobs, there is definitely, I can see, there are a lot of people getting into their own ventures now, because they see the potential of, the opportunities that are there because of technological changes, the innovation that is happening. It is, opening up new opportunities every day. Now, uh, it's about, the loans generally are not available to startups. I mean, banks don't fund startups because of two reasons. One is the high risk involved, and second is that they generally do not have collaterals to, give. And even in personal loans, people don't tend to, give loans to startups. In terms of, that is why they raise funds from angel investors. Fact that 90% startups fail, it's evident, uh, that there is a high risk involved. But if you look at why 90% startups fail, because 60% of them don't even get funded. There are a lot of reasons why they don't get funded, so we'll not go there. But if we see that the 40% that get funded, 75% of that, so 30% of the 90%, uh, still those startups fail. Two reasons which I see is, that one is that there are a lot of startups which are formed by these founders from the perspective of not creating a great business, but from the perspective of raising funds. So, and once they raise funds, the funds are spent on the perks that the founders would like to enjoy. So investors are giving their money not to give the handsome salaries to the founders or giving them perks, but for the growth of the business. So if the money is spent on entirely on the growth of the business, then obviously the chances of success are more. But certain founders, tend to spend that money on themselves. That is one mistake that we have seen. And second is, as you said, mentoring. So there is a lack of mentorship, or maybe the choice of mentors is not correct by the founder, and that is where you see that startups start failing, because they themselves are not equipped to take such business decisions, and even the mentor doesn't guide them properly. For this, I can say that, for the funding part, we have our angel investors network, from where startups are being funded. But at the same time, we have a pool of mentors within Agility who have been, we have formed that group of mentors from the investors only, people with considerable industry experience coming from, various sectors. So we have formed a pool wherein, if a startup is taken up by Agility for mentoring, then they get a 360-degree kind of a mentoring, and not one person is mentoring them. Then there are many mentors who are available to solve their problems, to guide them, in terms of strategy, in terms of finance, in terms of sales, a lot of things for that matter.
Prashant, we work with a lot of women entrepreneurs also. There are a lot of women in our NGO who seek guidance. Now, what are the easier methods of financial planning for such women?
Financial planning is financial planning. I mean, it is not different for women entrepreneurs. So the reason that women are not good at financial management is the same reason that men, Indian men especially, are bad at cooking. So because they don't do it, they don't know it how to do it. I'm very sure that if women take up the task of financial management, they will do it better. I mean, it's not, there's no doubt, because they manage things better. But because this aspect is not left to them, and they have not done it, there is again that fear of unknown that stops them from going there. But if you get into a habit of looking at the numbers on a continuous basis, then you uh, get comfortable with that process, and then every month it is only maybe few minutes, that you need to look at your numbers, and you would know where you are going, both in terms of your business and in terms of your finance. Where you uh, tend to get involved in your operations more and start ignoring finances, you really don't get to know. So you need to have that discipline of looking at your numbers regularly. People keep their hisab in those small diaries, and but if you ask them, they just know how much money they have to take from somebody and how much money they have to give. But how much money did they make, and how much more they could have made, it is something which people don't focus on. So I mentioned that to a friend that who was running a company with 300 crores, and I said that these three things you need to focus on. And he went back and he started working. That was in April of a financial year. Next year, January, he calls me and he says, you are my God. I said, what happened? He said, because you mentioned that thing, that stock expenses, debtors, I started focusing on them. And this year, our profitability has taken a huge jump because we were not focusing on these aspects. I mean, we were doing 30 to 40% higher sales year on year, but our profit was not increasing in that proportion. So if you get to hear such things from people, it's really encouraging.
So that's totally beautiful, very knowledgeable. A successful businessman needs to understand the importance of financial planning and management. To all entrepreneurs, startup founders, business owners, finance professionals, please attend the workshop, Mind Your Profits.